If you guys want to come on up, I think we'll go ahead and get started by the time we should be close to the exact time. If you want to come on, yeah, come on up. Okay, we have a proclamation that we'll read. Whereas our nation was founded upon the principle of equal rights for all people, and whereas strong communities embrace and respect the inherent worth of every person, fostering an environment where everyone can live authentically, and whereas everyone should be able to live and thrive without fear of prejudice, discrimination, violence, and hatred, and whereas the city of Des Moines remains open and welcoming to residents and visitors of all backgrounds, beliefs, and lifestyles, and whereas since 1978, the LGBTQ plus community of Des Moines has annually celebrated Pride Month in the month of June, honoring the continual work of the LGBTQ plus community each year, and whereas Pride is recognized throughout the month of June, but the pursuit of understanding and appreciation of our neighbors should be a daily endeavor. And whereas the city of Des Moines is home to a diverse community, including LGBTQ plus individuals, and the city of Des Moines is committed to supporting the rights and safety of all residents. Now, therefore, I, Connie Bozen, do hereby proclaim June 25th as Pride Month. So I want to present this to you, and if anyone would like to say a few words, I think they had a very successful event this weekend. There was thousands of people, I know, in the parade. So
record numbers for sure.
So thank you for all the work Civil and Human Rights have done, and for everyone. If anybody would like to say something, you can step forward.
Okay. Well, I don't have any prepared remarks, but I represent the City of Des Moines Community Impact and Relations Department, and we're very proud and honored to celebrate and honor the month with all of you. So thank you so much.
We'll just move this over. Did you get the pictures you needed? Come on up. Come on back. Thank you. We also have a little special recognition for someone who happened to be lucky enough to be on our attorney for the day. Carol, would you like to come down? The city of Des Moines recognizes Carol J. Moser on this 30th day of June, which is a little before, for 41 years of loyal service as a career employee in the legal department, showing continuous and devoted public service to the goal of an improved city government. I don't think we have many people that can say they have been here for 41 years and still, I suppose, enjoy it.
I do. I have, and I do. Yeah.
So
thank you so much.
we, on behalf of all of us, you want to say any words?
Well, thank you. Thanks, everybody. I have definitely enjoyed. It has been quite a variety pack of work that I have experienced, including rappelling when I was over at the police department. So you get all sorts of opportunities. So I encourage everybody to look at NeoGov and apply for positions when they come open. It's a good employer. So thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Again, we are fortunate in the city to have such a crew of dedicated personnel that make this city run each and every day. And so thank you all for your work that you do. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So which of July 1st? Okay.
Yeah, so actually,
I'd like to call our June 9th, 2025 meeting to order. Could you please take the roll?
Boson,
Here.
Simonson,
Here.
Voss,
Here.
Coleman,
Here.
Westergaard. Here. Mandelbaum,
Here.
Gatto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
The next item is number 2, approving agenda as presented and/or as amended. And tonight, 4A has been withdrawn, inspections incomplete. 4E has been withdrawn, inspections incomplete. 33I has been added, support of workforce housing credit benefit application to be submitted to the Iowa Economic Development Authority by Urban Dreams for a $1,750,000 project constructing 6 housing units at 1411 7th Street, and I'm sponsoring it, Mayor Boson. Regular agenda items, 61 has been updated, added times for days allowed. 63 is updated as a speaker's list. And extra items, number 1, authorizing the Parks Director to create a program to provide complimentary pool passes for the families of the Iowa National Guard members deployed outside the United States, and I'm also sponsoring that.
Move approval, Your Honor.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 3 is approving consent agenda. Those are items 3 through 51. On this case, there's number 5, Voss votes no. 5, Coleman wants to speak. 6, Coleman votes no. 32, Simonson has a conflict. And these are routine items and will be enacted by one roll call vote without separate discussion unless pursuant to council rules, council requests an item to be removed and be considered separately. With that, I'll entertain.
Move approval, Your Honor.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Seven yes.
Motion carries. The next item is item number 52, on conveyance of a permanent underground electric easement in city property located at 1505 Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway to Mid-American Energy Company for the Fire Station 4 relocation project. Germane comments from the general public, 2 minutes per person to speak, 10 minutes maximum. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one?
I'll move item 52.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote. We're missing.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 53, on vacation of subsurface rights within a portion of Carpenter Avenue, right-of-way adjoining 2400 Carpenter Avenue, and conveyance of a permanent easement for subsurface building encroachment on city-owned property to Velo Apartments LLC. A is first consideration of the ordinance above. B is final consideration of the ordinance above. Waiver requested by Brent Dahlstrom, Velo Apartments, requires 6 votes. Germane comments from the general public, 2 minutes per person. Anyone wishing to speak?
Seeing none, I'll move item 53, 53A, 53B.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 54, on request from Iowa Pacific Processors, Inc., Mike Everett, officer, and City of Des Moines to amend Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow comprehensive plan to revise a future land use classification from business park to industrial and to rezone parcels located in the vicinity of 2606 Sunset Road from EX Mixed Use District to Limited I-1 Industrial District to allow expansion of an existing industrial use and continuing the hearing until June 30th, 2025, continued from May 19th, 2025. First is the parties of interest.
We're just continuing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, we don't have that. Okay,
I'll move item 54 to continue the hearing until June 30th, 2025.
okay. Moved and seconded, please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. 55, on the intent to commence a public improvement project to construct the East Army Post Road reconstruction from Southeast 14th Street to Indianola Avenue project, and to authorize acquisition of the necessary property interests, including agricultural land. Council Communication Number 25-230, germane comments from the general public, 2 minutes per person to speak. Anyone wishing to speak to this item?
I see none, Your Honor. Just a couple comments. Construction will start in '27, and I know we just had an public art presentation, and I think the roundabout at Three Lakes would be a wonderful place for something in Ward 4 to be placed. So hopefully we can get something like that done. With that being said, I'll move item 55.
Been moved and seconded, please vote.
Seven yes.
Motion carries. 56, on request from Scottish Rite Park, Inc., Daniel J. Boer, officer for property located at 2909 Woodland Avenue, for an appeal of conditionally approved Type 2 design alternative to waive public sidewalk along Woodland Avenue and 28th Street. Choose one alternative below: A, deny, or B, approve. Again, germane comments from the general public, 2 minutes per person. If you would like to speak, if you could step forward and give your name, address, or ward.
Just quickly,
Yeah, that's fine. You can join together.
my name is Elizabeth Dawley, Dawley. I'm the CFO of Scottish Rite Park. So you need my home address?
No.
Okay.
You-
We are embarking on an internal remodel of our higher levels of care, our nursing facility, and our memory care facility. So this does not change the footprint of our property at all. But the magnitude of the project has brought the sidewalk issue into conversation. This is a very, I don't know if everybody's familiar with Scottish Rite Park, but the topography is very steep on that side of the street. There is no sidewalk there now. This would be a significant grading project. We have sort of informally polled our residents and our employees. There doesn't seem like there would be, there's a need for the sidewalk on that side of the street, and the cost of regrading that side of the street and retaining walls and sidewalks and everything might significantly impair our ability to do the project at all. So we're asking for a waiver that we not be required to put a sidewalk on the north side of the street. There is a sidewalk on the south side of the street, and I think it's, again, there's no change in footprint of our building. This is strictly an internal remodel. We're putting in skylights, we're trying to modernize our memory care facility, and we're not changing our external footprint at all. I don't know if.
Yeah, I assume you guys can see what I've pulled up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so the first image I brought up here, which is a little bit hard to see, but I've kind of sketched in where the sidewalk is. Give me a second, I'll point it out.
You can use your finger. Use your finger, but you can't see the, yeah, there you go.
So right there, they're looking at doing, this would be the south side of Woodland. They want to do a small connector, and then they want to connect that to another curb cut here and just run it over to the driveway. That is the suggestion. And then just kind of pull up a quick picture. What you run into here is, this would be the curb cut on one side. Up here, what we're going to run into is, you can see the grade, and it doesn't look, this is about as calm as that grade gets along the whole side of the property. We will be hitting these two utility boxes. Those would have to be relocated. One of the other issues that we would be running into is this curb is only about 2 inches high. So we would be looking at having to redo the entire curb along that street. And then, of course, we'd have to do a retaining wall along there, which would require a SUDIS. It has to be an engineered design. So then you add in the cost of an engineer to design a retaining wall. And so you're looking at getting, I think the minimum cost that we looked at for materials was like $55,000. So we're going up from there to do a sidewalk because we're doing an interior remodel that is mainly including, like she said, skylights is the biggest ticket item, but everything else would be organizing, like moving some offices around, carpet, wall coverings, things like that. So that's a whole other set of subcontractors now that are introduced to the project that, originally is already been VE'd because it was slightly over the original budget. So that's kind of where we stand is spending upwards of $50,000 to put in a sidewalk that really doesn't go anywhere, and it doesn't necessarily get used by the facility, or wouldn't get used by the facility, so.
Not a lot of foot traffic in that neighborhood.
It's just that one section?
Just that section,
It's
yeah.
not the whole?
No. When we sat down and looked at it with the city, they looked at it and said, there's no way you can put a sidewalk all the way along there. And we talked about, potentially doing it in the future, as like when the property next door was required, and they said, that's not gonna happen. They just want this one piece, which again, like I said, it kind of, I think at this point, we're just kind of doing it symbolically because.
Okay. Is there any, if you want to go ahead, Councilman.
I'd appreciate staff coming up to provide a little more context, and I guess I have some questions too. So my understanding is this is type 1, the priority 1 sidewalk?
Priority.
Type 2
Yeah.
design waiver, but
Yeah.
the whole piece, because this is, and things are kind of up in the air, but this is adjacent, the apartments next door, this is adjacent to the Ruby Van Meter and Callanan campus.
No, that's on the other side.
North, yeah.
Right. Initially,
Yeah, this
Right.
is not adjacent, this is adjacent to the Four Seasons apartments.
the property is.
I can give you an
Correct.
overall of the.
Oh, our property, yes,
block
you're
too.
correct. Our property is adjacent to Ruby Van Meter, and,
Right.
yep.
And staff waived, well.
Okay.
Here you go.
I got-
This is the
appreciate some
entire block.
context.
So Ruby Van Meter is over here. This is the Four Seasons apartment.
There any sidewalks in front of Four Seasons?
No.
Cody?
I just appreciate a little background on the staff recommendation. The applicant did not reach out, so I have not had a chance to talk with the applicant about their concerns previously, but would welcome the.
Certainly. Cody, Mayor and members of council, I'm Cody Christensen, Director of Development Services. What we're talking about here is a site compliance requirement that was triggered by cumulative improvements to the property. The property's assessed at just over $25 million. So that means over the course of the last 20 or so years, there's been over $12.5 million worth of improvements made. That's what triggers the overall review of site compliance. That's how we got to this point. And so part of that site compliance is to review the site for sidewalk requirements. Staff looked at this, so sidewalks would be required by code to be installed on all public street frontages. But given the challenging grade of the site.
What that would be? On there?
Yep. So I'll try and speak into the microphone and point at the same time here.
You're good.
So code would require sidewalk here along Woodland Avenue as well as 28th Street. Yeah.
And there's no
So-
sidewalks right now on either of those, correct?
That's correct. So the staff recommendation, recognizing that this would be a very challenging site to install sidewalks for that full frontage, was to do roughly a 40-foot length of sidewalk here between the driveway and where 29th Street tees into Woodland. So there'd be about a 40 lineal feet along the street frontage, and then approximately 10 additional feet of sidewalk connection to do the drops down to the street.
Why? I mean, if we're not connecting it to anywhere, sorry, Josh, I just wondered why to the south.
To provide a sidewalk
Four
connection.
Seasons, so.
There's no, is there sidewalk
You
on?
told me there was no sidewalk at Four Seasons, so it's connecting to nowhere.
So this would connect the property itself
Just the
to
property.
the sidewalk on the other side of the street.
It's connecting to the sidewalk across the street, but nothing on that side of the street, is that?
Correct.
Is everybody clear on? Okay.
If I may, Cody, I generally don't like to debate things. I went out and looked at this, and on paper, it looks very desirable. But in practicality, it seems to me that the best place to cross is, and sir, if you could point on the sidewalk along the drive, the challenge to this site is the driveway doesn't intersect with the street across. That's the whole challenge. And I'm sorry, can you zoom back in? I wanted to show the sidewalk along the internal private driveway. There's a tree there. Can you point at the sidewalk? It's hard to see that there is a sidewalk along the west side of your driveway, your internal driveway. That's where the sidewalk is. And I'm not saying we should do this, but if the crosswalk was there, it's not at an intersection, that could be ADA accessible. But to take it 40 feet, and again, it's too bad the driveway doesn't line up with the street, I don't know how you would make it ADA accessible. And the slope along there, it's a 1-to-1 slope to the curb. It is a ski slope, not right there, further to the east, but I just don't see how they can make an ADA sidewalk there.
It's a challenging site, no argument about that.
Yeah, it's a very steep.
And the
Go ahead.
ADA does not require the installation of sidewalks if they're not already there, so that wouldn't be a problem with our program.
But considering the population there,
Sure.
if we want people to be able to walk, one would want that. So,
That's not a
Well-
great hill.
Yeah, and where are the transit, I mean, that's a dart route right in front of there. Where are the transit stops?
There's a dart stop approximately here, I believe.
Over by the Four Seasons.
Over where there's no sidewalk.
But again, you would have to, Four Seasons would have to put in a sidewalk in order to get to that dart stop.
And what about on the other side of the road? Do you know where the dart stop is on the other side?
I don't know. I thought the dart stop was just on the north side of the road. I could be wrong.
It looks like it might, it looks like
Yeah.
it's right there in there. If you can see that there's two,
I have only seen
Refer this back.
Four Season residents waiting on
that's a
the
good
north
idea.
side.
I think we need to refer it back. It's-
Yeah. So I'll move that. I guess I'd like further discussion on this, so I'd move to continue this so that the applicant can work with staff. I mean, this is a priority one sidewalk gap, where to further narrow, kind of like along the lines of what Councilmember Simonson had suggested in his comments, and to explore that option so that we can provide some connectivity. And then I'd also like to explore if the other property owners at some point add sidewalk, I guess particularly to the west, for connectivity
To
to
31st.
31st and the transit stop in particular. I believe that's one of the criteria for priority one sidewalks is connectivity to transit. I think this was also for the school, but I don't think we're going to connect around the full length of the property for this. So-
If anything, the school would be Callahan that you would connect to.
And we really don't get any Callahan traffic, so.
I'll second the motion to continue this item.
Are you going to allow public comments as indicated or not? I'm just wondering.
What?
We need to.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. We just didn't
I was just
see.
wondering. I just.
Started with the applicant.
We start with the
No, but
applicant
we are
first.
voting, so I didn't know if there were going to be public comments or not.
We can move in second and then have public comments, so we can have people come up. If you have, anyone else would like, thank you. If you have any other comments, if not, we will move on to other public comments. If anyone else would like to come up, state your name and ward or address.
Thank you. I know I'm always a PETA. My name is Carol Maher. I live in Ward 3 in downtown Des Moines. And thank you for pointing out that this is a priority 1 sidewalk. And I hear people on this body always complain about how long it takes to get priority 1s filled. So I'm disappointed that we're not using this opportunity to fill that large gap. I understand all that other stuff. I'm just disappointed. There are 2 neighborhood schools, and I personally have relatives that go to Callanan and walk on Woodland home to Sherman Hill. So I know there's at least 5 little boys that walk that. There is a DART stop, and while the applicant may think that only people that live in the apartments use the DART, I push back a little bit on that because there's probably an opportunity that some of the workers at Scottish Rite would use the DART. So I would think as like an employment opportunity for people that would work there, you would want to be supportive of having the DART access for your employees. And if they would just extend that sidewalk that quote-unquote goes to nowhere to where the DART stop is, as someone that used to have to use a DART stop that was in the grass during the winter when it's snowy, it's kind of not very friendly and hard to wait at a bus stop. So if you could extend your sidewalk where the DART stop is, it really is kind and generous to people that use the DART. That's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else willing to speak to this item? If not, it's been, I believe, moved and second to be extended, so.
Yeah, I'd move to extend this, and I'd like staff to work on, I'd add this, the location for the crosswalk where Councilmember Simonson suggested, and then perhaps exploring extension in the other direction to connect to the DART stop. Or if staff could also visit with DART and see, as maybe part of this, if it would make sense to relocate the DART stop and maybe accommodate something right in front of the facility. If that could be done when this, just evaluated and discussed as part of this process, I would appreciate it.
I'll second his motion.
Could I ask, just for a little bit of clarity, all the changes would be to the west side of the lane and at that point, right? Where the ADA crossing would be in?
That is what.
That's even possible.
Well, I
If
think
it's-
they
if
need
it's
to
even
look at
possible.
everything. So they're going to, I think, I would suggest that
I'd
they
like
look
it
at
to
the
be
whole thing.
Looked at, yeah.
So the vote we're taking is to refer it back to staff?
Yep.
And then they will get in touch with Scottish Rite to see what fits best for that neighborhood.
Yep.
Okay? Please vote.
6 yes, 1 abstain.
Motion carries. Now, 57, on request from the City of Des Moines for designation of the Argonne Armory Building, Armory and the World War Memorial Building at 602 Robert D. Ray Drive as a local landmark. And we will accept the remaining comments. Anyone wishing to speak to this? If not,
Seeing none, I'll move item 57.
it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 58, on the proposed 2025-2029 consolidated plan, which includes the 2025 action plan for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and reprogram of prior year's unspent community development block grant. Council communication number 25-237. Again, we'll accept germane comments. Anyone wishing to speak to this?
I see none, Your Honor. I'll move item 58.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 59, on Masonic Cemetery Road improvements. Resolution approving plans, specifications, form of contract documents, engineer's estimate, receive and file bids, and designating the lowest responsible bidder as TK Concrete, Inc., Tony J. Vermeer, President, for $612,255. Council communication number 25-226, A's approval of contract and bond. General public may comment only to the plans, specifications, form of documents, engineer's estimate, or low bidder designation.
I'll move item 59. There's no comments, and appreciate this happening.
Second. And 59A?
Thank you.
Not yet.
Yes.
Has
59A
been moved and seconded, please vote.
also, hopefully, 2.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 60, on 2025 HMA resurfacing program contract 2, resolution approving plans, specifications, form of contract documents, engineer's estimate, receive and file bids, and designating the lowest responsible bidder as OMG Midwest, Inc., doing business as Des Moines Asphalt and Paving. Ken Bragg, President, $529,871.40. Council Communication Number 25-227. A is the approval of contract and bond. Anyone wishing to speak to this? If not,
See none, Your Honor. I'll move 60 and 60A.
it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Going back to item 5, I believe Councilman Coleman wanted to speak on this, the city clerk to issue cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor permits.
Thank you very much. This is distressing to me because we're, up against the wall. I don't know if you took a look at the documents, but we're passing about 140 different locations tonight for another year. I think the state law requires us to reissue them each July 1st or, a date certain. I want to continue to say that I think that we need to find additional regulations in our licensing process or zoning for these. We have new I think since the first time I pulled it off and talked about it, I think each meeting we've had 5 new applications per meeting. Carl's been voting against them for a long time. I want to always point that out. But I do think it's necessary. I also had a question just about transparency. Each liquor license, even a temporary liquor license, we list in the agenda, and these are always kind of hidden in item number 5. And I'm just wondering if there's a reason for that, or if we could begin listing them so that neighbors and neighborhood groups would know which ones we are acting on.
Because we did the liquor, right? Yeah, we can list them out.
Probably would be
I wouldn't
good.
think.
It would probably be an eye-opening.
Well, it would have added 4.5 pages to our agenda today, because
Right.
that's how many there are.
Yeah.
But that's only once a year, as I understand it, so.
That's why there's probably so many, it's the time of the year.
I appreciate that. I think, I continue to think between the way in which a number of these businesses have chosen to advertise, light their place, neighbors are getting really tired of the explosion of sites in the community. Josh mentioned a few ways that other communities have addressed this, and I appreciate Scott taking my call today and talking through some of the things that are on staff's agenda to maybe recommend to us, but I hope that comes sooner than later. I'm going to vote against item 5, so if somebody wants to vote for it or move it, that would be
I'll
great.
move 5. Item 5.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Do I need to
No.
hit no again?
Yeah.
Yes, hit no again. Doesn't count.
5 yes, 2 no.
Motion still carries. And we'll be looking into other alternatives. Because I
Carol,
don't,
what would happen if we all voted no on something
Well,
like
then
that?
they-
Would they, I mean, I guess
that's-
I don't
we
understand.
would probably have the state go ahead and authorize it, probably.
Is that-
We'd have to have a conversation.
Okay. I just wondered.
I,
Yeah.
I just kind of wondered.
That's what I always said. Why we just,
report back in a couple
yeah.
in,
That'd be
No,
first
I
meeting
won't,
in
I won't
July.
make her do that. I won't make her do that.
Before she's gone.
Last
That's a problem.
few
We
weeks.
could all vote no because we don't support it, but at the end of the day, the state has the right,
Yep.
correct? To-
Okay.
Right.
Well, why are we voting on it then at all, then, if we really, I
Because they
can't
probably have it in the code. that we
not
have to.
approve or disapprove of anything?
well, I hope in the future we vote on it because it would cause them to be subject to additional rules that we have that maybe the state doesn't have.
Okay.
from zoning to,
But as of now, that's not the case, so
that's
we're
not the
just-
case.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I think we're waiting on the zoning recommendations based on what Iowa City has done, and I think there are several of us who are very eager to see those recommendations.
All right.
And I appreciate Councilmember Colvin continuing to hold the manager and city attorney's feet to the fire on this, so it gets done.
Perfect.
Okay, with that, item 61, amending Chapter 46 of the Municipal Code relating to the prohibition of consumer fireworks within the city limits. A is final consideration of the ordinance above, waiver requested by Scott Sanders, city manager, and requires 6 votes.
So, Your Honor, just a couple questions, since
Yeah.
we got this about 10 minutes before the meeting started. And July 3rd from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m., no matter if that's on a weekend or typically a lot of people celebrate that before the 4th because they have the 4th off. But then we have from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. on the 4th. And then December 31st, we have from 9 a.m. to 11:59, which, I mean, I'm not going to argue the times. I don't think that we can ever, we're never going to be able to stop anybody on the 3rd.
And this is private property only.
This is private property only, can't do it in the right of way. So I guess my biggest concern is the damages to the parks. And I think that we need to have a plan this year and have officers sign up for overtime, because the damages to the park that we've been paying the last few years would probably pay for overtime to protect the parks. And so I hope that we're working on a strategy to be able to do that, because the last thing we need to do is to allow our parks to be damaged anymore. And then also, as we move forward and the state was change these rules on us, I would hope that we look a little closer now in our neighborhoods. Now that our neighbors have an opportunity on the 3rd and the 4th to legally shoot off fireworks in our city, there's no excuse for them to be shooting them off any other time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so I'm hoping that citations will be written, more of them. I know they have to be seen, but we also need to be a little bit better of enforcing this now that people have an opportunity to shoot them off at these times. So I want to, hopefully that we can.
Lean forward on that regard.
We
Yes.
have already sent an email to
Okay,
Chief McTaggart, and he is working on a plan.
okay.
He already, I think, has a plan outlined, especially for city parks.
Yeah, that's
we know there's
important.
damage. And then I think we need to also let the public understand if they are going to call, what they have to be prepared to do in order to write a citation, because you have to be able to see the person lighted, I believe, which is kind of hard in the dark.
Or you can have a picture of them, and you can turn the picture in to the neighborhood officer, and they have a year to be able to issue a citation to the person that the picture shows them lighting
We're
them.
going to try to get information out to let people know, only because I am sure, as we have done in the last how many years, gotten numerous calls.
We
And I
get a lot of
understand.
calls and
Yes,
emails
I
about
mean,
this.
When they were going off at 3 in the morning in my neighborhood, like a fairgrounds, aerial bombs going off, it is pretty disturbing, so.
If I could add that we have been in communications with our comms department as well.
Good.
So this will be put out to the public, and we want to make sure we're doing it in advance, just a few days in a week, probably a weekend before as well.
Yes, please.
I'm not sure how you're ever going to stop everyone at 10 o'clock on July 3rd of shooting off fireworks. I think that's a law that we're passing here,
Well,
that
this
we're
is-
never going to be able to enforce.
but this mimics the state
This is not
hours.
our.
So these are not
Okay.
arbitrary.
This is
That's fine.
updating our
I'm
ordinance.
not asking to change it, but I'm just saying, the other times when people are shooting fireworks off at 1 or 2 in the morning when they get home from the bars, I hope that we enforce it a little bit differently this time, is all I'm asking. And
That's why I
so,
think we need to be clear on what is expected if you want to call in.
right, yep, that's, so with that, I don't know if anybody else has any comments. I'll move 61 and 61A.
I think, Councilman Mandelbaum, did you have some comments?
Well, I think first thing, I mean, sometimes we don't explain why we're doing taking particular actions, but in this case, our current ordinance prohibits fireworks at all times. The state has preempted us, so we can no longer prohibit fireworks at all times. And so we have to allow fireworks, and what I've heard from the city manager is we drafted this narrowly to mimic or to address the times that the state has required fireworks be allowed to be set off at the municipal level, and so we're now doing that. So this is not something, we're doing this because it's state law, and we have a duty to follow state law, not because
Any of us.
any of us have an interest in doing this. The other piece is, I agree with Councilmember Gatto that now that the state has, well, I think we should have been enforcing our fireworks ordinance. I know how challenging it is and how there are higher priority items out there, but I think we should make clear to our residents, and maybe from a communications perspective, the things that they need to do to document and have a ticket written after the fact so that it can be done either with the neighborhood-based service delivery officer or when an officer doesn't have higher priority calls, because I don't want to be pulling our officers off higher priority calls, but I do want to help enforce this so that if neighbors are not being respectful of their neighbors, we can address this a little bit better.
And if I can just add, we talk about this every year, that we're going to do something different, that we've got to protect our parks, but then it doesn't seem to happen. We are quickly approaching the July 4th weekend. I thought that we had talked last year about if the fireworks was coming from a yard, it didn't necessarily have to be a person, but if you could take a picture of your neighbor's yard, of them shooting them off, that was enough. Is that not correct?
Well,
Because
not
I
between the
thought we had
times.
changed that.
Yeah, that was the case, but now what we have is certain dates where we're not
Correct.
going to.
Correct, but even after 10 o'clock then, you're going to have people shooting them off. If I just have a picture of my neighbor's yard, that's enough. I don't have to actually see the person.
I think that's what we're trying to get
Is that true?
We're going to try to get that all worked out so that we
Yeah.
have the correct information, and that was part of the conversation with Chief McTaggart. He has got a plan for the parks, and they are going to put together what the citizens need to know in order, if they call in, like a picture.
I understand that, but I think last year we said it could be just in the backyards.
I did not. I thought you had to watch
Well,
somebody light it.
We'll add the clarity.
Okay,
we
then maybe
definitely
we
need
just
that clarity.
talked about it.
Well,
Okay.
and I mean, I would go
Yes.
I would go a step farther, I mean, in terms of what if there are things that, if it doesn't have to be the picture, but it's just an affidavit, right? If someone is willing to testify and swear under oath that they have witnessed someone take that action, I would like us to be able to provide a citation based on someone's sworn statement.
Well, I
as
think that that's what we need to get all the information together to find out what we can do, so we can inform our citizens as to.
But the citation is for a person, not the property, correct? Or am I mistaken?
It has to be a person.
It has to be a person, not just because
Wait a minute.
someone's in my yard shooting off fireworks. I'm not responsible for it as the property owner, unless I'm the one lighting it.
And
What
that's
it-
why there's
It gets more
evidence
difficult.
that needs to be.
Exactly,
added.
okay.
So,
I moved item 61 and 61A.
Need a second.
it's been moved and seconded, please vote.
Seven, yes.
Motion carries. Next item is 62, amending Chapter 114 of the Municipal Code regarding traffic regulation changes as follows. Council Communication Number 25-219, A, parking modifications, 3 Lakes Estates Flats, 10-14, 1 Southeast 30th Street between East Army Post Road and Brockway Drive, 2, Lake Hills Drive between Sweetwater Drive and Brockway Drive. 3, Lake Ridge Avenue between Lake Hill Drive and East Pine Avenue. 4 is Sweetwater Drive between Lake Hill Drive and East Pine Avenue.
I'll move item 62A, 1 through 4. And if there's no one here to speak, I will waive the second and third reading, currents to 42A, right?
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. The next item is the public speaking. We provide speakers under the public speaking portion the opportunity to address the council for up to 3 minutes each for up to 20 speakers for a total of 1 hour. On the agenda, speakers will be called forward individually, and we ask everyone to please state your name and address or ward prior to providing comments. Please keep comments germane and avoid references to personalities or character attacks, as those types of comments do not contribute to the purpose for which this public forum exists. As a reminder to the council and the public, this public speaking time is to hear your comments, and if there's a need to follow up, we will get it to the appropriate staff or council to follow up at a time after the meeting. So thank you for wanting to come speak today, and Bonnie Davis is the first one I have on the list. If you can state your name, address, or ward.
Bonnie Davis, 2425 Kenway Drive, Des Moines, and I'm here to plead and beg for mosquito spraying. I'm one of these people that's really, really allergic to mosquitoes, so if there's one out there, it'll find me. And I'll itch for like 2 weeks. And I have neighbors that don't clean up their leaves, so that makes a perfect little place for water for mosquitoes to lay their eggs. And I cleaned up 19 bags of leaves in my neighborhood this spring, hoping to avoid that, but my neighbor to the south hasn't cleaned up any. She let them pile up against her garage and the fence, and I can't do everybody's. And I cleaned mine up the week after Thanksgiving, and I had 2 people helping me. So I've cleaned up more than my share of those leaves, but I'm afraid I'm going to get Zika or one of the viruses from these mosquitoes. And I feel with the increase in property taxes that I should get something for my money. You know, the increase in the water and the sewer for 6 years, and now there's going to be another one, and there's money to restripe streets that nobody likes. I understand why you did it, but there's no right-hand turn lane on big streets like Hickman. You can't turn right on 42nd Street unless you stay in that lane, and that holds up all the traffic. I waited 5 lights one day, and it wasn't rush hour. And then there's money for all the bike lanes, because somebody on the planning committee is big into biking, and there's money now to put little green sparkly things on the bike lanes. And there's money for tax incentives. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So to think that there's no money for mosquitoes really bothers me. And that might be it. Oh, except, no, it's real hard to wear heavy clothes when you're mowing your lawn and it's 90 or 100 degrees. And I can put on mosquito spraying, but I can't do that every time I step outside my door. I can't have a cookout. I can't have friends for cocktails. I can't read my paper on my patio. So it just seems unjust. So I'm hoping to change your mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Samantha Scott.
Hello. My name is Samantha Scott. I live at 2200 East Walnut Street. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to discuss an issue that affects countless drivers, pedestrians, and emergency vehicles each day: the timing and coordination of our city's traffic signals. As Des Moines continues to grow, managing traffic flow efficiently is not just a matter of convenience. It's a matter of safety, environmental responsibility, and community quality of life. Unfortunately, several key intersections throughout the city experience prolonged or inconsistent signal cycles that result in traffic congestion, driver frustration, and elevated risks. Specifically, I would like to highlight the following problem areas. So this is areas I drive every day because I live and work in the city. East 30th and University Avenue, East 6th Street and Grand Avenue, Army Post Road and Southwest 9th Street, and East Walnut and East 15th. These intersections routinely experience delays that disrupt commutes and contribute to avoidable emissions due to extended idling. In some cases, the unpredictability of signal changes also affects emergency response times and pedestrian safety. I respectfully urge the council to consider initiating a data-driven review of our city's traffic signal timing system, beginning with these high-impact locations. With today's adaptive signal control technologies and trafficking monitoring tools, we have an opportunity to greatly improve traffic flow while reducing carbon emissions and travel times. Des Moines deserves smart, modern infrastructure that responds to the real-world needs of its citizens. This step, although technical, can have a lasting and visible impact on our daily lives. Thank you for your time and for your continued dedication to our community.
Thank you.
Did you get all this down?
Is your contact information in with the city clerks?
Yes.
Okay. We'll contact you. Thank you.
Okay, is Kathy and Ed are not here? Suzanne Overton?
She's not coming.
Not coming either. Rebecca Delgado?
She's not coming
I
either.
mean, she's not coming. Garland Armstrong?
Good evening, Garland Armstrong, Ward 2. Yesterday, as you know, I did this and as a volunteer, but my biggest concern is for yesterday morning, the paratransit driver could not even get me and my wife to the Dart Central Station so we can be ready for this. And then the driver said the buses was also having communication problems too, getting down there. So just wanted to make sure to clarify, like whenever we have a marathon or something like that, we need to make sure that the dispatch for the paratransit drivers and the bus drivers to make sure where they can get access to going down there, since if there's going to be a big event like this or coming up in October, the Des Moines Marathon, and then in September, the Women's Half Marathon, because there's a miscommunication problems. Even the city is not communicating with DART to tell them so that they can remind the clients and the passengers where their detour is going to be when they get down there to the Dart Central Station on a Sunday morning. So we need to make sure how to communicate with all of them so it won't be a lot of disconnecting, because I'm concerned if this will happen again, where is the transparency of it? Because there's no transparency in it. So Mayor Bozen, since you're the chairperson, you make sure to get connections with tell them at DART that they need to talk to dispatch with the paratransit drivers and the bus drivers to make sure that when we have a big event coming up again, to make sure detours so that remind passengers and clients so that they can make sure to get access down there to the Dart Central Station, and then they don't have to do all that walking like we did. We had to walk about 3 or 4 blocks from like on by 8th and Walnut going right on over there to the event. So make sure about that, because we don't know what will happen down the road.
We will do a better job. We had a lot going on this weekend. We've had a lot. Des Moines has been a very active place.
Very busy this weekend.
So,
We'll do better.
okay.
Thanks.
You, Ellen. Okay.
Your Honor, I'll move 63A, B, and G to receive and file their comments.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
While we're voting, can I make a quick comment?
Yes.
We had a speaker, Samantha, ask about transportation. Tonight, agenda item 10, if you looked it up on our agenda later, is a $4 million investment in intelligent transportation, trying to do a better job with technology to manage those intersections and routes. I think we're on phase 6 of, is it what? What's that?
It might be 5.
Phase 5. There's many phases. I think there's like 9, and the total budget is like $12 million. But tonight, we're doing another chunk of the city. You're exactly right. We can do better.
Maybe we'll hit those streets.
Yeah.
So, okay. With that,
And then the extra item.
oh, the extra item. Oh, sorry. is authorizing the Parks Director to create a program to provide complimentary pool passes for the families of Iowa National Guard members deployed outside the United States. And I sponsor that, so.
I'll move item 1, Your Honor. Thank you for
Second.
doing
And
that.
anyone want to, Councilman Simonson brought this up, so if you want to explain a little bit
I'll
more.
just mention quickly, I had coffee with a resident, Tim Coonan. Now I would say he's a friend, he's a great guy, an Iraqi vet, and said, you know, Mike, something the city could do, which is what we're voting on today, would be very meaningful to families whose loved one is going to be gone for quite a while. And it's just a further demonstration that we're paying attention and that we care.
And how many, we don't know how many are in Des Moines, but there's how many.
1,800 have been deployed, and
Been
you're
deployed.
correct, we don't know how many are in Des Moines.
So whoever's in Des Moines we will be
Great
taking
idea.
care of them.
Great idea.
So, been moved and
Can
seconded.
I rescind my second so he can second it? It was his idea.
There you go.
Okay, but you could vote.
7 yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Motion to adjourn, Your Honor.
Okay, is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.